Okay, folks, welcome back. So we're going to change gears a little bit. We're going to talk about what we're going to do tonight. But before that, hopefully the microphone works okay. Of course, that's only depends if some of you guys are here. I have a adapter that I put in there that should be able to run several USB things on there, and the microphone being one of them. So hopefully that'll work all right. So today we finished up several things this morning. Got all three Sukas done, the SU-76s. I finally sealed the 2234s that are the snow bunnies, and went out and did some airbrushing, in which I airbrushed the base Portland stone color for this universal carrier. I'm going to call it a Bren gun carrier all the time. I've called it a Bren gun carrier for so many years. I'm going to probably mean to say universal carrier and say Bren gun carrier when I mean universal carrier, but we put this thing together and airbrushed it. Same color that the A13 is, which is ammo made Portland stone color, which isn't called that, it's called something else. And I wanted to decide to do something different. I took my German half-track that was already painted gray, and I went ahead and did an overspray of Sandgelb. So we're going to make this one Africa Core. Just one. There's only one scenario within. They were pretty rare, so just a regular SDKFZ 251, and it looks kind of gray because it has a gray undertone. So I wanted to represent a vehicle that was originally set in gray, and they either airbrushed it and added some camouflage to it as an overspray, or it just got mixed in the environment and turned into that. So I don't think I'm going to be able to get very far on either one of these two projects. So in looking for other things to deal with this morning, I found that this afternoon I found that I have two kits I have never put together. And both of these are small guns. There's two small Wehrmacht guns, and both by Zvezda. So a couple of Russian companies making German guns, so hopefully they'll represent them correctly. And this is the 75 millimeter infantry gun, L18, I think, 75 L18, and then the Pak 36, which I have several of these, but they're by HAT, H-A-T, and they are really soft plastic. So I already had these. So we're going to put both of these together. So let's do the infantry gun first, since I've not seen what one of those looks like. And of course, these are made for this game system that they have called the Art of Tactic or something like that. Snap fit, no glue required. We're going to be gluing them. And neither one of these will be for Africa. Actually, the 75 millimeter infantry gun is not something that screams Africa. I'm sure they use some in Africa, but I don't know that I've ever seen a picture of a 75 millimeter infantry gun for Africa. But regardless, they're going to Mother Russia. Zvezda 2012 has two crew members. The crew members look like they're molded pretty well. And they're hard plastic, so you don't have to worry about the paint flaking off of them. Okay, so what are we going to need for this project? Well, we're going to need to put away some of these brushes that are consuming me. Let's get those out of the way. the instruction. How is this no glue required? But the figures have pegs. I guess if you, that's not a way to. You can use glue for plastic models for more reliable connection of details. Yeah, no shit. It comes with these bases. I don't plan on using the base at all. So let's get our Tamiya clippers. Well, let's finish putting everything away. We got more brushes here and a brush. I can't think with this much stuff on here. We're gonna need a tweezer eventually. Don't need that. Don't need this right now. Another brush and another pen. So we're going to paint the counter scheme on these. We're going to test it on the Bren gun carrier. See, there it is again. I called it a Bren gun carrier. Technically, it's a universal carrier. What's this? Oh, you need to go. You need to go away. You can get pushed out of the way. Perfect. Let's get rid of all these scraps. And let's do something I never do. Or rarely ever do. We're going to use the cutting mat to cut on. Oh, blasphemy. Well, I bought this one specifically for that, so I knew when I bought it I was going to violate it. And let's use the Exacta brand one. See if it slips out of there a little bit less than is normal. And we're going to need our weld cement from Tamiya. Okay, let's just get the Pack 36 out of the way. Other than the size of it, I'd say it's pretty good. A pretty good thing for a beginner to use. It's got a nice rivet detail. I never did grab my Tamiya clippers. There they are. Alright, so we're going to need the two halves of the gun, of the cannon. We don't want to pull the piece out by cutting right next to it. We want to give it some space so we can trim that back down. Things you don't do as a kid. You know, as a kid, I remember you'd like twist these pieces out and they'd break. And you're like, no, you got to use an Exacta knife, and you want to cut it all the way as close as you can to it, and that wouldn't work either. That's those two halves. Okay, and they have this little squiggle piece between them, which is over here. And the gun shield, which is actually rather large. Only give you 2 crew members, but I'm sure this is a 4 crew member gun. And oh, there's a sub-assembly of the cannon. Stubby little thing. This chair's up way too high. There we go. And this thing sure is complaining a lot. Oh, it's higher than it's supposed to be. And then this little piece on the front. And then we can start trimming and so forth. All right. There it is. What's it doing over here? Man, this stick-on stuff is like, it's always moving by gravity. It's always moving by gravity. You can just shove that underneath there. Should be able to hold there nicely. All right, we don't have a whole lot of things to sand, but if we do, it's right there. No viewers. Everybody got that everything. The clocks fell back and everybody fell asleep. All right. So here is the sub-assembly of the gun first. The cannon. This is also flash. Alright, I'm going to rub this across the top. Ever so lightly. And then this little piece on the bottom is also flash. And we can't get to that with this, so. Okay, now I'm pretty sure. Oh, this actually has a step down here. And it's hardly stepped down at all. Let's do this. Let's do that. And then come in here. Take some little slices out of this thing. So let's just step down a wee bit. Why is this thing not blowing on me? Okay. I only got a little bit of a ledge there. The front of the 75 millimeter is not drilled out. So we're going to go ahead and drill that out now. So let's find the center point. We'll put a little divot there. Now let's go grab our drill bits. You don't have to drill very far, but just to give it a little bit of a impression. Alright, here is let's see which one's installed right now. I suspect I gotta go to a smaller one and then maybe enlarge it. Maybe not. Yeah, we better go smaller. I don't want to screw this up, or this is like a one-shot deal. Once we got that in place, then we can go to one with a little bit more oomph to it. That's good. I'm actually going to do something now that I'm thinking about it. Are my scissors handy? Are there scissors handy? Assemble this with potentially glue dripping on this, and then the pattern that's on here gets eliminated. So we can cut on here, but we're going to assemble on this. All right, so that piece is done. This is the little gun shield that it goes over. It goes over it. Kind of a little sub shield there. And this is apparently fits in Hey, Pat. What's happening, man? Do you remember to fall back? We should just do away with this. Change the hour here. Move around here. Turn yourself around. Thought this year was the one that we're going to do away with it, but who knows? Just move to Arizona. They don't do that nonsense out there. This thing's crinkled like a Pringles chip, like the front of the top of it. So not tomorrow night, but the following night. I guess I should do an election night show. Keep everybody from going crazy. Or giving people that don't give a shit something to do. Or none of the above. Fill in the blank. Do a painting session, hanging Chad edition. Trying to get used to the time change, yeah. No, I looked out. We had somebody over for dinner. One of my wife's friends had her over for dinner, and it started getting nightfall. I'm like, man, it felt like it was like 8 o'clock, and it was like barely 5. It was like just really weird. We should just leave the damn one alone. I prefer the summertime, but only because, I don't want to feel like I'm exhausted when I get home from work. Wish they had decided not to attach this on this curvy part. Makes it a little hard to, a little tedious to trim. There we go, we got that. All right, and that's the front part of that. And we have the two halves of this. Driving home from work in the dark is an adjustment. Yeah, this is the time of year where you end up using the lights in the morning and going to work, and the lights going home too. It's a bit exhausting. Lights are doing double duty. I wonder which one happened first. Like the very first time they instilled, we're going to do this daylight savings time. So they, well, it's obvious they would have sprung forward because they're on one time and they switched to the summertime, so they had to lose everybody gets to lose an hour first. An adjustment though would be like somewhere like Alaska, whatever, where there's like 2 o'clock in the morning and it's still bright. Like that's weird. That would be an adjustment and a half. Only issue I have is driving in the dark. You have retina damage. Oh man. Is it permanent? I don't need any eyesight issues, man. We need this. We've got lots of things that we need to get done. Well, I had a first ever today. If you watch my morning show, you'll know that yesterday I went on a really long bike ride, and I managed to get a flat tire. Never gotten a flat tire on a bike that I remember, and I had to walk back 2 miles on it. Anyways, big deal. So I'm like, one of the things I want to do today is get repair it. So I can either send it go get repaired, or buy the patch kit, or buy the bicycle tube and switch the bicycle tube out. So, with YouTube, I'm not opposed to looking how to do stuff. It's empowering. I watched a video on what I needed to do. I'm like, oh, this is easy. I can do this. Right? I got the tools for this, and it doesn't require any tools. So I go to the store, and I go to the store and I'm pricing things out, and I'm like, a repair kit's like $3.95, or a new tube is $6.95. And I asked the people, I said, why would you ever buy a repair kit when the tube is just a few dollars more? And they said to me, that's a good question. It is a good question. I only ask good questions. You don't know me, but I only ask good questions. So I came home, put it on, piece of cake. I'm like, I don't see why somebody would carry a patch kit. So I have a little portable pump. I mean, it's really small. It's to, you can attach it onto the bike. I just don't carry it with me. I don't think I'd ever used it once. So next time I go out, as soon as I find it, I'm gonna bring it with me, and probably buy another tube. Just carry the tube with me. Honestly, pretty easy fix. It took the hardest part was bending over. I just don't. I don't enjoy bending over like I used to. You did the YouTube home repair thing yourself. Yeah, YouTube's great because you can see how involved it is. You can see if the steps that go through there, and if you screw up and don't remember what order things go in, just watch the video again. I've done a lot of stuff with YouTube. I've done a lot of car things. I've done things that I would not have attempted to do had somebody not decided to make a YouTube video. But it's a pain in the ass to take your bike to somebody to go fix it. You gotta put on the carrier, etc. Repaired your flush mechanism on the toilet. That thing's a lot more difficult than it should be, isn't it? That stuff's good to do, though. It's just, it's empowering. And sometimes you could get something and you know what? You got it, and then you didn't watch the video right. You're like, I'm just going to return this before I end up going down the rabbit hole. I wanted to replace the horn on my car. I figured, that's easy to do. Well, that involves hooking things to the battery and stuff. And I'm like, oh, you fucking didn't. Alright. Well, I'm not going to bend over, but I'm going to get on my knees. It's a relatively large piece, but, who knows where the hell it went to. It's definitely here somewhere. not here, so if it's not there, where else could it have been? Off here to the side. You know how you find it. You stop looking for the fucking thing. No. I guess we'll work on the other model. Sons of bitches. And that's all because I was trimming it. You know, and it's small, so you don't want to put a ton of pressure on it and break it. Yeah, it'll turn up here. They always have. Excuse me. Carbonation. Okay, well, I'll put this one on hold. Bastard. And my floor is relatively clean. No. You, sir, just went to the back of the pile. I mean, it can only go right here. What is this? Piece of wire? I don't know what that's to. Yeah. Should be right here. Let me, let's move this. Nope. It's not that small, and it's a light gray, and this floor is dark. I don't understand why you're not right here. Interesting, the floor's bubbled up there. That's not a good sign. It can only be one place. Well, let's see. Just moving this table leg out. The other table that's next to it. No, it's a relatively large piece. Oh well, stop looking at it. Stop looking for it. Oh, look, here it is. It's right in. That's what I got the camera for. It's right in the arm of the chair, wedged in there. You bastard. You rat bastard. There we go. It's not that small of a piece. Alright. As I was. You're the second viewer. Balthasar. Oh my gosh. Okay, let me try that. The Balthasar part is easy. Gulashoup. Welcome, man. Yeah, the dollars have some. Yeah, and the good thing is if you fix it yourself, you can start working on it immediately. Not like how many times you have to fix something. It's I'll just have this fixed. Oh, I can't. It's a Sunday. You know? Alright, you little Nazi piece. I've always found it. That's not true. There's a 50 caliber that ended up taking off of a, that fell off of the turret of a die-cast Sherman. I never found it. I even moved out of that house and never found it. It got swollen up. It got swole up. All right, as I was. I'm a pretty careful person, so if this happens to me, it's happening to a lot of people all the time. And I don't stage any of this stuff, so if something goes missing or happens, you guys get to see it immediately as it happens. All right, 75 millimeter infantry gun. Yeah. Okay, so this little guy. Fits inside the other two. Now this thing's creaking like a pirate ship. Okay, this thing goes. It's supposed to go in there without glue. Yeah. Okay. Sure. This is gonna go in like this. And then this one goes in like this. Okay, I'm gonna leave it kind of open towards the front because we're gonna need to wedge stuff in there. Okay, and that's the little cannon here. It goes in between these two. Let's open a little bit more. Yeah, some of these things are like, yeah, there's no kid that's gonna do this. They would have broken stuff. Didn't get a chance to work on models this weekend due to the home repair stuff he had to do. Well, that stinks. Unless you find home repair stuff relaxing. I think it's great if you end up like succeeding at doing it. Like there was one weekend before we moved out, so sometime last year that actually before we even knew that we were going to move out of the other house, I switched all the hinges and door knobs on the old house, and it took a while, but that went really well and looked a lot better. Okay, that goes in like that. Okay, cool. What else? And then this attaches to the front of this gun shield. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and squeeze this back closed. Squeeze this back closed. Okay. And we have a little gun that moves up and down. I don't know that we need to move it up and down very much. Oh, it goes over it. I see. All right. Like that. Oh, okay. What age is this for? Because I don't see a 12-year-old dealing with this. Let's see what age these damn Russians think you can do this at. If they even say on there. Doesn't say. Wait, can't be under 3. Didn't get a look at the kit. What is it? Is it? Yeah, it is a new kit. I found 2 of them. I found the 75mm German infantry gun, and the other one is a Pack 36 anti-tank gun. Both of them with a little crew member. So we're gonna get this. That way we can paint this up this week, at some point. Now, I know this is a snap kit. Doesn't have any glue, and I don't mind using glue after the fact. So we're gonna go ahead and drip some glue in here where these 2 are attached. Just a wee bit. So this gun shield, we don't want it coming off. These 2 pieces attached there. That one attaches there. And the back of that little guy can just weld just like that. And this can still raise. I'll leave it like that. It's probably going to be easier to get to painting all the nooks and crannies. We can glue that later if we don't want to deal with it. Okay, so there's that. Got a couple of handles, A9 and A9. There's 2 of those. Okay, so this is A9. Here's these little guys. These are the things that like to go flying. So we know they're flyers for sure. So let's grab some stickum, also known as white tack. This stuff is definitely something that everybody should use. I'm really happy with the way this behaves. We're going to use the Tamiya clippers to get it out first, but we don't want it to fly off. There's one of them. And the other one we're just going to put in here. And here. Okay. Now they didn't go flying, but I'm still going to have to trim them. Which is the problem with this. It's like, what the hell do you hold it by while you trim it? Seeing it isn't my problem. I've got my contacts out, so I got a built-in +6. Or 6.5, or okay, that one's good to go. We're gonna put it on there so it doesn't go flying. The Cardinal, welcome. The tiny pieces with flash that need sanding are the toughest for me. Yeah, they're the toughest for me too. Let's try this. I can't see with my own, I'm blocking my own light. Okay, we got that to work. Okay, that's the 2 knobs. not gluing this in. Yeah, you gotta be out of your mind. More vodka for you, comrade. Last chance to fuck this up. I wish Tamiya made stuff on 1/72 scale. And somebody said, "Oh, their kits aren't a challenge." Well, I'm sorry. My work day, what I do for a living, is very challenging. I don't need to be I don't need to be tortured by that when I get home. Oh, let's not use one that's occupied. I want to enlarge this ever so slightly. That was way too much work putting one weave on. It's a great little model, but it's like, man, you just over-engineered the hell out of this thing. Let's go ahead and make this one a little bit bigger while we're at it. Let's see if I can get away with murder. Let's keep it in here. Push this thing into position. And then pull this off. Yeah, there we go. Murder it is. where do we go next? We got the periscope to put on, which is A6. You like the small Zvezda kits, bought a couple of them, like the German mortar team. Yeah, what's kind of weird about them is some of their crew members look kind of weird. And I only would say that because I've got some weird looking lads in the 85 millimeter. But not weird enough that I won't use them. They just look kind of like, you know, this guy's 8 feet tall. What's up with him, you know? Their instructions at least are okay for a Russian kit. Usually instructions are just all over the place. Okay, there is the periscope. It's going to fit. Let's make sure that this has enough play in there. Not gluing it in. You out of your mind. I mean, I'll put it in, not glued in, and then drip a little bit of glue, and then it's glued in. Like this. Okay. Next, I'm going to put this on the axle. What's the most difficult kit you've got that you either weren't able to put together or you were able to put it together but it was just such a nightmare? It's both labeled 10s, doesn't matter which one goes where. And there's nothing on here, right? Basura. And this is not the gun that's in the Panzer IVs. This is a 75 L12. The Panzer IV short gun is a 75 L24. I don't think this weapon they even made an AP round for. This is just a straight infantry gun. I'm gonna cut this peg off because we're uninstalling it on that thing. We don't play Art of Tactic. You're really into the World War I large-scale kits by Wingnut Wings. Oh, good Lord. Wingnut Wings, huh? I had a Red Baron triplane that must have been 1/32nd scale by, I don't know, Revell or something like that I got a long time ago, and I was never able to put it together. But, you know, I was 12 or something, you know. You did one kit from them. It was extremely tough with wing installation and such. Wing nut wings. So it was really tough, but you were still into them. Well, that's good. You weren't like, I'm never going to build anything for this company ever again. I think I built an albatross in 1/72nd scale by Eschi. I think Eschi made them in 1/72nd scale. They made several of them. And he bought one of them. I don't remember how I painted it, other than probably not well. There's so many World War I aircraft I don't like. Most of them are unattractive, in my opinion. But I do like albatrossing. Like, I think a Fokker DR1 is an ugly looking plane. It is. But Sopwith Camel is also. I don't really like radial engine planes, as a general rule. Okay, we gotta make sure we have the right side facing out. Okay, cool. And then this is the axle. Very detailed, and they only did World War I aviation. I suspect that they're like 1/48 scale. Is that accurate? New Zealand company owned by the guy who made all the Lords of the Rings movie. Oh, really? He was Peter Jackson? Huh. Is that why they call it wingnut? Is he a wingnut? What'd you call them? Wingnut Creations? Wingnut? Wingnut Wings. 1/28th? That's a weird scale. I like to stick to one scale, so that's why I never had an affinity for 1/48 scale aircraft. Okay, this goes towards the top. Where does it sit? Oh, we had a peg on this side? No, there it is. Where was the peg here? Oh, it's inside of here. Oh, well that's uniquely challenging. Let's see if we can get it in there. If anybody can get it in there, I can. Okay, and these little bumper things face forward. So that means this thing's got to go in. This thing's got to go in like this. Okay, and then we'll take a little bit of this and drip it in here. Alright, and then the wheels fit on there. Right. legs are that far out? The wheels are that far out? No. It goes inside more. Okay. Okay, that was where it needs to be. No kid putting this together. There we go. That's much better. Cute little thing. It definitely needs a little barrel drill. Without that, it's like, what is this thing? Okay, there's a little 76 millimeter infantry gun. Oh. Remember the old Revell 128 scale World War 1 playing 60s, 70s? Some of those kids were production for many years. They had a Fokker DR1. Maybe that's the one I had. Maybe I had a 128th instead of 124th. I never could put that DR1 together. And I built that when I didn't even paint at all. Like, I never painted anything. So I remember being, man, it's a whole lot of red. Molded in red. Alright, we got a gun crew here. A two-man gun crew. Let's see, does 15 go with 16 and 17? It does. Okay, so these are the arms of this lad here. Uh-oh, now what? Who's bothering me? Where's my phone, for that matter? Oh, it's all the way over there? Alright. Jeez. I really need to unsubscribe from Reddit. I don't use it for anything. And man, they just send me notification after notification after notification. Alright, now this guy's got a peg in his boot. We're going to remove that. Really good looking figure, actually. Really well molded. There we go. If this Zvezda 4143 Soviet Maximum machine gun open, haven't seen if the fig looks funky. Yeah, I just have the commander on the Su-85. The 85 millimeter aircraft gun. He's really, really tall. Really tall. Oh, he's totally usable. He's just of a unusual length lankiness. Now, we got some pennies over here. Oh, he sits balanced really well. That arm goes on this side. This one goes on this one. You know, I got a bad feeling about this fitting in. So I'm actually going to cut it off. Because I didn't like how much pressure I had to put on those two legs to go together. That was the leg part. I probably shouldn't have pushed it in. I probably should have just cut off the peg and glued it in place. Okay. That's what I should have done with his lower section. This is actually a really first-rate figure. I am thoroughly impressed. I mean, the hand is freaking great looking. Don't fall on the fucking ground. As a kid, I hated any tank that I had to put the hull and the two sides of the hull onto the hull, like where the running gear is, because I wasn't patient enough / didn't have enough tools to get it all to work. Not sure what this guy's supposed to be doing. That. Now, where's my pennies? So he's going to have a name on him. I like to leave a nameplate down here. So let's grab the super glue that. Okay. He's done. And they'll stay permanently on that little base. Alright, and the other lad. we don't need this little base thing here, or this little flag unit marker for it, for their art of tactic game, or whatever it's called. I don't know that I'm gonna be. I don't know that I got enough oomph in me to do the pack 36 also tonight. It is a work night. Yeah, see that fits nice and smooth now. Back in the day, I don't know who made those 1/28 scale planes, but back in the day, the Revell models weren't very good. But their monogram was better than the Revell, and the Revell was better than Lindbergh. Lindbergh was like, of all the brands that were around when I was around, definitely the worst one. Guy's actually carrying a shell. this guy will go on a penny as well. See if we can get one that's in better shape than that one. That's got to be their permanent home. What's going on here? What's the meaning of this? A little bit of here. A little bit of there, a little bit of here. And here's the two gun crew members it comes with. Cute little thing. But it's almost 10 o'clock, so I gotta like wrap it up, because right now it's like I gotta get up in a few hours. So, but thanks for hanging out with me, folks. We've got this little pack, this little 75 millimeter infantry gun that we'll probably be painting up this week. Okay, folks.